topic is interracial living. Why do we choose that?
All right, well, I mean, so all of us, we are different races, several different races.
Yeah.
I'm half black, half white.
I'm black and European, I guess. I thought I was black, European, and Indian. Come to find out, I have 1%, so whatever.
I consider myself a mixed mutt because I have black, European, and Asian, and Samoan, so.
Yeah, so mixed race. So we just kind of wanted to come to you guys and kind of talk about how it is to be black in this society, interracial in this society, biracial or tri, whatever, you know, and just kind of live in this world and have to deal with all the different
conflict,
yeah,
the racism,
exactly, and our kids, and the fact that our kids are all mixed race. So it's like, how does that
conversations do you have with your kids?
Yeah,
how do you raise them? We know what those type of.
And what do we identify ourselves with, or if we do?
So, and I think this is very relevant. I mean, especially in our day and age. I mean, we went from a black president, black president, which is amazing, to now a white president. So it's kind of like one extreme to the next. So how does this affect us? So, yeah.
So I think we're going to start off with Miss Tia today.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to kick it off with her.
So I guess I'll start with like how I was raised. My mom is Samoan. I was raised in a Samoan family. Everyone but myself and my sister was Samoan. You know, we're the darkest ones. Even though I was raised as a Samoan child, and that was actually my first language, I always felt different, and I always felt, okay, no, obviously I'm black, and that's something that I struggled with as a kid. I was always called Blackie, even by my family. No one ever like used the N-word with me, but it was always Blackie or burnt. And it really affected me as I grew up.
Because Samoans, they're like way lighter, and you're like, you and your sister are like darker skin. And you guys look like you're mixed, but to the Samoan world, you're Maoli.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maoli is black.
Maoli means black in Samoan.
And that carried on into like my high school life, where I always tried to fit in with the Samoans because, you know what, like I want them to accept me. I want them to know that I'm part of them, and that's a big part of my life. But it never worked. Yeah. And growing up and getting into my adult life, I was like, you know what? I am what I look like. I look black. I'm just gonna, that's what I identify with.
So how old were you when you felt comfortable in that transition?
Like 21.
Really?
Wow.
So you were like a full adult when you felt comfortable?
Full adult. When I was like, forget it. I look black to the world. That's how I'm gonna act.
And you speak Samoan, right?
That was my first language.
Yeah, so she speaks fluent Samoan.
So your first language
was Samoan. My grandparents raised me, and they only spoke Samoan.
Wow.
So when you mark on your paper, I
mark black.
Okay, so you consider yourself...
If you could only mark one thing, I would only mark black.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if there's a choice, I do black and Polynesian.
So you don't necessarily feel like you're ashamed of your Samoan side by any means?
No, I'm not ashamed. It's just I just decided that I don't want to like pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like I'm a human being.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. I look black. I feel black. At the same time, I have lots of Samoan family. My culture is Samoan.
Right.
To the world.
So let me ask you this. So I know I actually grew up with a lot of Samoan friends, and so I know they kind of want you to stick with your same race, you know, when you start dating or when you start trying to find your future spouse. So do you feel like your parents wanted you to find a Samoan spouse?
No, they did not. They wanted the opposite for me. My mom was like, do not date a Samoan. If you're Samoan and watching this, it's kind of touchy, but for Samoan men, they're like mama's boys. You know what I mean? Like they kind of stick to their mom and like they're very family people, which is really, really good. It's just, I didn't want a mama's boy. I wanted a man.
Right, yeah.
And I always looked at black men to be like really manly, and I love
masculine.
that. Okay. Masculine.
Hence that you have a chocolate drop.
Yes.
So now you're married to a black man.
Very black.
Okay, and so Brooklyn is basically 3/4, kind of, and just wrap it up. I know your other things, but overall you're probably like, mainly Polynesian and black.
So I'd say she's 25%.
So 25% Samoan, right?
Yeah, okay.
So how do you think that is with your daughter? Like, does she know her Samoan side? Like,
she does, and I want her to be proud of it, but at the same time, I feel like I push the blackness on her, and I have no shame in saying that. When we go to the toy store, I'm like, look at the beautiful black doll.
Right.
I want her to be proud because I know she's, you know, my chocolate drop, that could carry on, and I just want her to be really secure in her skin color, everything that she is. And so
especially with her being darker skin, sometimes that's kind of frowned upon. I don't say frowned upon, but it can be like,
she's pretty for a black girl.
No, I want her to like, I'm pretty,
no matter what.
Yeah, not just pretty for a black girl, right? Right.
Yeah,
so
unfortunately that.
Yeah.
What about you, Shasta?
As far as, I don't know. Well, I mean, I look black, so of course I just say that I'm black. I don't really go and say, oh, I'm black, da, 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 da. If somebody asks me, I'll say it. But of course I mark on my paper black. I identify as black. Growing up, we didn't speak any other languages or anything, so it was just a black household. We were Christians. We went to church. My father said that we weren't allowed to wear, like, pants. We could only wear dresses.
So were you guys, like, when you say Christian, were you Pentecostal or
yeah.
Okay, like Kojic?
Like straight up.
Like,
Yeah, girls wear...
Clap, stop, clap us up.
Yeah, you can't do anything. You had Jesus on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
every day.
Sunday, Jesus in the middle of the day, all the Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, as far as...
Well, actually, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So now that you're an adult, do you feel like that Jesus was pushed on you so much as a kid, so now as an adult, do you feel...
Question.
How do you feel now, like with your faith?
So, that kind of can go left or right for me because I had personal things happen to me that kind of caused me to question my faith. So, like...
But at the end of the day, you love the Lord.
Of course. I teach my
your
kids...
faith hasn't wavered. It's just
there was a time in my life where I questioned it due to the fact that I was seeing so much hypocrite behavior in the church. I've seen so much wrongdoing come from members of the church that was supposed to be like pastors or ministers. And so it kind of made me feel like, these people are supposed to be people that I look up to, that I respect, but yet they're doing all these wrong things, but yet they look out to the world as if they're, they're the bad ones.
Right,
but in the same token, you're praying every day. You're supposed to have the Lord on your side. Why is it that you're the ones that are doing so much more wrong than this person? Yes, this person, listens to worldly music, what they call it, but you do all these things where you should really be in prison. So at the end of the day, there was a time in my life where I extremely questioned my faith. Like, is this real? Like, who lives like this?
But you said you do make sure that your kids are brought up in a Christian household.
Yes.
Okay.
But
see, so you want them to love the Lord.
Well, you don't push it on them like it was pushed on you.
No, definitely not. So here's the thing. I also don't go to church on a regular basis.
Got it.
I don't feel like you have to go to church. I feel like...
Well, we are the church.
Right.
Church isn't the four walls.
Exactly. And some people can like battle against it, like, girl, you have to go to church. And I'm not saying you have to go to church, or you shouldn't, or you should. Whatever works for you. But for me, like, I feel like I can pray wherever I'm at. Exactly. Like, if I have a problem, if I want to talk to the Lord, I can talk to him wherever I'm at. Every time before we eat, I make sure they pray. Every time that we have a blessing come our way, I make sure that they're grateful and they know where it came from.
But speaking of your kids, like, how do you raise them because you have interracial kids or biracial kids?
Yeah.
Well, so same thing with you. So your kids are also
black and white.
So your kid's dad is half black, half white.
Right.
You're
majority
black, half white. Well,
I'm majority black in a sense, but I do
white.
I have some.
So they probably have maybe a quarter or more white.
Of course, because I have more than a quarter white.
So they identify with the whiteness at all?
Do they identify as
or they're just like, oh, I'm black? That's it.
They probably just say that they know that they're light-skinned kids, but they say that I'm black. They mark on the paper black. They identify as black children. Okay. So, but their dad, funny, he has a white mom. She's no longer living, but he has a white mom, and he does not identify whatsoever with his white side.
Wow.
Even though his
is it because he doesn't like white people, or he just loves his blackness? What is it, do you think?
I just think that he's more like you in a sense. I think that he looks like a black man, and he's not going to be accepted.
Well, I mean, to me, Miles looks mixed. So, I mean, he
looks like a black man. If you get pulled over...
Right, you're black.
He's black.
He's a black man.
So I know what you're saying. But, I mean, he has curly hair. So I'm saying looking at him, you would know he's mixed. But at the end of the day, he identifies as being, no, I'm black. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. He definitely identifies with being black.
Got it.
And then as far as you, how do you feel?
Oh, let's hear about your story.
Yeah, so my story is a little bit different. I actually have a twin sister. We grew up in California. And my mom is white. My dad is black. So I'm half black, half white. I don't know European, I don't know the percentage, but at the end of the day, I'm half black, half white. Right. So we actually grew up completely white. I mean, my whole life, we grew up listening to country music. We grew up on a farm. We were raised by my grandma, and at the end of the day, she was white. Like, basically, my mom started dating a black guy, I want to say when she was 16. I don't really know the exact age, but my grandma actually kicked her out. We grew up in a racist household, to where, because we were black, we were actually the evil stepchildren. We were like the Cinderella.
Wow.
The twin Cinderellas, And so we had, I mean, to be honest, it can be like a Lifetime movie, you know? I mean, it's really so hard it's hard to explain the dynamic of how we grew up. But what's crazy is now that I'm an adult, I identify with being Black. And it's not even like a thing. I would say I was brainwashed into thinking I was white my whole life. But yet, my grandma, when we grew up, she shaved, so from a kid to like 2 years old, until we were about 11 to 12, my grandma shaved all our hair off, like with a buzzer, like a clippers, because she didn't want to have to do our hair. And with my hair, I have definitely more of a kink of a curl in my hair. My twin sister, however, she took all the white genes. She's very, very, very light skinned. I mean, she looks majority white, maybe quarter Black. Her hair is like a loose wave. So with her, at the end of the day, my grandma just shaved both of our hair off just because she didn't want to do it. And she took care of us, so she was like, well, you're my grandkids, but really not really grandkids. It was either go to her or go to foster care. So really the only choice was to go to her. So she kind of got back at my mom for not really being there in our lives, and because she had to take care of us, she shaved all our hair off. So we actually grew up thinking we were like little boys, and that was really hard for us. So not only did we grow up thinking we were little boys, we grew up also thinking we were white, but why are we so dark? Like, why do we have this color?
With that, did you struggle with like your, you know, like the way you felt about yourself, like your confidence because you didn't have hair? Like,
yeah, I didn't necessarily struggle with my color as much because I felt like I knew I was Black, and that was wasn't really, so that wasn't really hard to identify as far as my color, because I felt like I knew I was Black even though I was in a white home. But what was hard was mainly my hair. Like, I felt like I was a boy, so I couldn't wait to grow up and do makeup. Like, I, as a kid, was praying like, oh Lord, please, I just want to wear makeup. I just want to be pretty. Like, I remember like praying, like looking up to the sky, like praying to the stars, and being like, Lord, please, I just want to be pretty growing up, you know. And that was my only wish, is if God gave me anything, I just want to be pretty. And I think that's why I literally, from like the second my mom actually got us back, we were 11 years old. My mom actually got us back, and we moved up here to Seattle. The second I hit middle school, we were in 6th grade. 6th grade for us was middle school, and I was like, Mom, I want to wear makeup. And she's like, well, you know, as soon as you get in middle school, and so luckily for us, middle school was 6th grade, not 7th grade, so I was able to wear makeup at a younger age. I was able to wear like just eyeliner, mascara, maybe some lip gloss, but it made me feel pretty. And not that I feel like I need makeup to feel pretty, you guys both know that.
Right.
But I definitely feel like back then it was a confidence booster for me. So it's crazy how much race deals with your confidence,
right?
You know, and so, and just to kind of say for me, like I know you guys were talking about checking the box. So like, say if you're filling an application or something and they ask you to check your race, I actually choose mixed race. So at the very bottom, it'll say, do you choose, you know, Black, white, Mexican, mixed, or whatever. And I just choose mixed only because I've dealt with racism so much in my life that if I feel like if I check African American, I feel like almost there might be, I'm already put in a box.
Opportunities would be more,
because if I put mixed race and I check the box mixed race, I can be anything, anything. And my name, you know, is Diana, right? So it's like, it sounds white, it sounds, it can be anything, right? And so it's just, it's unfortunate that you kind of grow up brainwashed, you know, and it's like we are who we are because of how we were raised, you know, and that's kind of hard to deal with. But at the end of the day, I would like, I'm going to choose mixed because I feel like I don't want to be perceived as, even though I'm Black, hey, I'm proud of my Blackness, I'm Black all the way. I don't even really identify, I love my mom, but I don't really identify with my white side as much. I identify as being Black. However, it's just one of those things with the society. Like, I've been in the makeup industry. We talked about this last episode, episode 2. You know, that I've done makeup my whole life, right? But with being mixed, I feel like I can appeal to that white demographic, and I can also appeal to the Black demographic. It's kind of like, hey, how's it going? Okay, oh my God, have a seat. You know,
like a chameleon.
Like, girl, okay, it's like a switch,
all right, on and off.
It's on and off, you know, and it's like, and it's unfortunate, but you have to be like that. You have to mirror
especially
image.
as a Black person,
right? You can't just, if you act Black all the time, it's unfortunate. But if you do, it's unfortunately you kind of frown upon it, and I hate saying that, but it's just it's so true.
Exactly.
It is. You know?
We were just talking about this. Remember, like if we say something because we are very like exotic looking, we're just sometimes we look like we have a resting bitch face because our features are more dominant. So we'll look at you and we can be like, no, I don't like it, but we mean it with love.
Yeah.
And then it's like she was so aggressive. She was so mean to me.
Well, we were just talking about this. So like in a lot of jobs, like so for instance, if you're talking to a manager at a job, at a corporate job, and all of a sudden your manager calls you in the office and they're talking to you, if you have anything to say, automatically you're confrontational.
Angry Black woman.
And I'm like,
there she goes.
I actually had a manager tell me,
I was afraid for my life.
I was lightly talking to my manager and I was like, okay, well, She goes, I'm gonna need you to calm down. And I go, like, she grabbed the air. She goes, I'm gonna need you to calm down. And she was like, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, I'm calm. I'm looking at her, I'm like, I'm good. You know, like, that's what I said. I was like, I'm good. And she goes, I understand I'm adding fuel to your fire. And I'm like, what fire are you talking about? I'm good. Like,
you felt like she was like throwing race.
She was almost maybe she felt like she felt attacked or intimidated, or I don't even know the word, but she felt like I was coming across as more aggressive or confrontational. And I literally was just like, hey, so and so, like just having a natural conversation. She automatically felt like maybe because I'm a more aggressive, stronger person, not even aggressive, but assertive personality. All of a sudden, I'm gonna need you to calm down, and I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, girl. Okay.
And have you guys ever experienced this? I have. I've experienced like saying or doing something like in a work environment, like say something like, could you hand me that, or using certain words.
Okay.
Like I got wrote up for saying.
Like black words?
No.
What?
Actually, words of endearment. I told this lady.
Oh, I remember the story.
Listen, I literally told this lady, oh my God, you look so beautiful, honey.
Yeah.
Straight up. I told her just like that.
Yeah.
You know what this lady did? She wrote to corporate and said, I'm so sorry that you guys really need to,
she was offended.
She was offended. She was like, I'm offended. I am a
because
doctor.
You called her honey.
Yeah. You do not need to have your employees calling people honey. I am a doctor. First of all, I'm not getting a pap smear. Why do you feel like I know that you're a doctor? I said honey because I didn't know your name. Why are you? And I was like, what? And I literally got called into the office, like straight up. And they told me, oh, you just have to watch what you say. She was offended. She felt like you were talking to her like she was young.
But watch like a white person call her honey.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. The same
double
token.
standards.
Exactly.
Double standards, yes. And you know what's so crazy? I just watched Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett, and they had the show about women, black women and white women. And I found it really, really interesting because I feel like...
What was on it?
Okay, so one specific topic they're talking about. It seems to a lot of people that black women have a problem with white women. And why is that? And so one of the ladies there was saying, you know what, well, is it because black men are dating white women? And I was like, you know what, for me personally, I myself, I don't reach out to white people to be friends. I'm just not interested.
Yeah. But if they choose to be your friend and you connect, I think it's about connection. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily because they're white.
But I don't purposely reach out to white women to be friends. But I also thought about, well, when it comes to interracial relationships, when I see a black guy and a black girl, I could care less.
Right.
It does not bother me at all. Some people just really bother to get something to, but for me, it doesn't bother me. What do you think?
Okay.
Well, okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I would just say it doesn't bother me, but what I would say is I've heard people say, and this bothers me. I've heard people say is like, oh my God, if they broke up with so and so, he's gonna go to a white girl. And I think that almost kind of offends me a little bit because I'm like, well, what are you trying to say? Like, black women are more like confrontational, black women are more assertive, they're more direct.
I think it says more about the white women when they say that. Like, white women are easier to just
they're easier to handle, or they're okay, and they do whatever you want them to do, kind of go with the flow. Yeah. So I think it's not necessarily, I can care less. If I see an interracial couple, I'm like, hey, good for you. I actually follow on Instagram interracial, it's like at interracial couples, interracial relationships. It's actually the page, I'm like, I actually love the page. I think it's super cute. I have no issues with it, because first of all, my mom is white, my dad's black. I grew up in an interracial family. I have a problem with is when people put people, again, in categories in a box and be like, oh, he's going to go to a white girl, you know, because of a certain reason behind it.
Yeah. What do you think, Shasta?
Because you have to go, oh, I know,
like,
well. Okay, straight up, if I see it, I don't care. I don't mind it. But what I do not like, and it happens often, when a white girl feels a need to cuff their man, or when they feel a need...
Oh, like you're walking by that trophy, like the black man. Oh, yeah, like what I got, a black man.
Like, first of all, I don't want your man.
Right.
He has you.
But you're saying if you're walking by a couple.
Yeah, they get intimidated, they get hot. It's like they almost
you're in a grocery store and you're just walking by to get some cheese, right?
Yeah.
And there's a white woman and a black man.
I can feel the tension.
Almost like she's a little bit intimidated, or she feels like, let me let her know.
Right.
This is my man.
Dead ass. Like they get really weird. They get really uncomfortable.
I don't know necessarily.
You don't think it's perception because
me?
reality is it your perception?
Right? Is that your?
It's facts. It is facts. I promise you, it's facts. No, their whole demeanor, their whole demeanor, their whole energy, it shifts. They get so self-conscious. It's like, don't date a black man if you can't accept.
What do you think it is?
Because they don't like competition. Yet he doesn't want me. He wants what he has. So why are you intimidated? I've always been the type of woman, if I see beauty, I say, oh my God, she's so pretty. Yeah. No matter the race, no matter. If a guy is handsome, oh, he's handsome. No matter the race. It is what it is. Yeah. But I have noticed, being a groomed, kept black woman, when I walk by an interracial...
Oh, I know what to know. I know exactly what you're talking about, because as far as my perspective, if I'm out looking really regular with my husband and I see a really groomed, pretty white girl or woman, I don't feel threatened. Oh, I feel nothing, because I don't see white women as a competition to me.
Right.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. And like I was saying, I don't care if you date outside your race. The only other thing that I really, really, really get kind of offended about or bothered by is when one race says they won't date their same race. And I'm really talking about black men, because they do it the most. They're like, I'm successful, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm not going to date no ratchet black woman. Like, pause. I'm sorry, sir. You wouldn't be here if a black woman didn't have you.
Black ratchet woman that you came out of?
Right. But yet your white girlfriend has a big booty that's fake, has big lips that's fake, has tan skin that's fake. I'm just saying.
Okay, so devil's advocate.
Sorry.
Okay, devil's advocate, right?
No, I'm going to sip to that.
I would say that you guys are both black, but I don't view you guys as ratchet. So well, we're all black.
I'm a little ratchet. No,
but I'm saying, so I'm saying from the black perspective, a black man, he's saying, I'm not going to date a black ratchet woman. I'm saying you could date a black classy woman.
Right, but when I said a black ratchet woman, it literally meant a black woman. So
he's saying that, but he meant, even though he's saying black ratchet, he's almost classifying everyone as the category. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's unfortunate.
But that happens, and it's sad. Yeah. It's like, I don't care if you date a white woman. I don't care if you date a Latina woman. I don't care if you date an Asian woman. But when you say, I won't date a black woman, and there is so many different shades and type of women there are. Black women are beautiful and they're intelligent, and they can be so much more than just what you see.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. Have you ever dated outside your race?
I have not. I'm not attracted outside my race.
Okay, Diana, real quick.
Well, before we get to me, you said you're not attracted outside your race, but sometimes I feel like attraction is almost kind of like
chemistry.
So you're saying like you've never even, say for like a white person or Asian.
Paul Walker can get it. Rest in peace.
Paul Walker.
But it's because he had a little edge to him.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it was. I don't know if it's because it was his characters that he played, because I don't know him.
Yeah, right.
But his characters he played, that was one white man that could get it.
Got it.
But outside of that, to be realistic, I don't. When I see a white man, it can be like, oh, he's a handsome white man.
But you can't see yourself.
That's it. No, I think I'm too much.
I can never imagine not dating a black man.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I find strength in a black man. I think they're so sexy, they're masculine, powerful. Exactly. I love that about them.
I agree with that. However, I mean, there are some races I'm less attracted to. Like one, I've never dated an Asian guy.
You love everybody, Diana. You're such a lover. You're like, I love you.
I just feel like I'm attracted to the person, and I really believe that. Yeah. I really believe that.
Well, that's evidence.
I'm attracted to the person, not necessarily like the race or
well,
whatever.
I am too, but I gravitate towards what I'm attracted to, and what I'm attracted to is a black man.
Yes. See, but look, when a black man says that, you feel a little bothered.
What? I don't, but I don't say I would never. No, it's not.
But you said you've never. You are right. You didn't say what you said that a black man. You say, I would never.
I never absolutely said that.
You're just not attracted to them.
No, naturally I'm not. But I'm saying I see black or white man or whatever, and I'm like, oh, he's handsome.
So now, what if a black man said, I'm just not attracted to black women?
Is that different?
Now I would date a black woman if
Well, that's still
Gabrielle Union. What if he said Gabrielle Union can get it, but I've only ever dated. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like potato almost.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I don't know. It's getting juicy, guys.
It's getting real juicy. I think this was a really good conversation. Yes, I really loved, this conversation.
Like, we could actually do a part 2 because I feel
like if you guys want to see us do a part 2 and kind of
if this was juicy, right? If this
dig
was
in a little bit more, we can. But I do want to say I gotta end it.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, don't judge me. I think white men can be attractive, but they have to be got a swag about them. They have to be like a construction worker or something. I don't know. But I did not say I would never. I just have never. Okay. That's the difference.
Okay.
Difference.
Okay.
You guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yes. And as always,
All right, stay beat.
Stay fly.
And remember, you're one of a kind.
Cheers.
Till next time on MILF Talk.
Bye.
Bye.